All right, everyone. Here we are, another video review for the on behalf of the Scratch and Sniff Sticker Collector Society. This one is of a Sniff Sticker book. We're going to be taking a look at. It's from Sesame Street. See no evil, hear no evil, smell no evil, which of course is featuring the Muppets. Um, so this one is a bit of an unusual one. Uh, in that, number one, you have the characters in it, but also it has some really odd scents in this book. And I'm trying to see if there's, again, a publishing date on this thing. Let's look inside here. Alright, so here's the copyright information on this thing. Copyrighted 1975. That's when this dates to. It's a cool book. We're going to go over the scents in this. There's 8 Scratch and Sniff pages on here. And there's a couple of them that are actually fairly unusual scents, which is really, really cool. Which is why I wanted to point this out. Now, something I didn't get to point out when I was reviewing the Mother Goose book, and I had meant to, it was completely by accident. When you're buying old books like this on eBay or wherever you're looking, be cautious and make sure to read the description. Although all the stickers in these are matte, the condition greatly depends on how well the book was kept, and of course these were kids' books. In this particular instance, it's not near as good a condition as the Richard Scarry book that I already reviewed, where all the sniff stickers smell on that one. And this one, the scents are very faint to almost non-existent, which I really feel bad about. This was one of my favorites as a kid, and I'm sorry that this thing is not in the condition that I wish it was in, so I'm probably going to have to replace it at some point. But nevertheless, it's still cool, and I'm glad that I have it, even in the conditions in, because I remember this one. It was very beloved from my childhood. So we'll go ahead and review. The basic story here of the book is that it all starts because there's a clubhouse that's built for the Sesame Street characters, and Big Bird, trying to do something nice, has painted it. And we start with the first sniff sticker, which is of paint, and it sort of has a very odd scent to it. I wish this one still smelled. It was really, really cool. And of course it stinks. So Big Bird goes off to try and figure out what we can do about that. And in the meantime, Bert and Ernie show up, and both of them notice the smell of paint and notice that something has to be done. And Bert comes up with the idea of calling a florist. And of course he shows up with roses. This is actually one of the stickers in the book that actually still smells pretty decent. So, then Oscar shows up. Of course, he hates the roses. Brings sardines. Again, a very odd scent. It was really cool that they had that. Grover shows up. Slips in the sardines. You have a mess. And now you've got this bizarre cacophony of odors that he's like, well, I can fix this. As he runs off to fix something, Cookie Monster shows up, figures he's got something that can fix this. Was his ginger snap cookies, the smell of gingerbread. Granny shows up. What is that smell? It's a mixture of everything. She's trying to fix it. As she's trying to do that, the Count shows up, starts counting everything, and delivers some lemons to get rid of the scent. Grover shows back up with pine trees, thinking that that will resolve the issue. Granny at this point figures out there it is in her bag. She's looked through everything, finds this fan to blow the smells away, and everything goes flying out. The amazing Mumford shows up, and through a magical trick makes everything disappear, except of course for the smell of smoke from his magic trick. But Ernie opens a window to get rid of that. And now at this point everyone can celebrate. The clubhouse is ready, and everything is going great until Big Bird shows up with his new friend, a skunk. And there's all the odors in the book, which of course everyone reacts horrified to, except for Oscar the Grouch, who thinks it's hysterical. And there's officially the end of the book. So much like the previous one, it was published by Golden Book, as they called it, a Golden Fragrance book. There's the spine. The back shows the other ones available. Some of them were actually on the other book that we looked at, some of them not. So, an interesting thing to look at there. You can pause and read that at your leisure. So yeah, very cool little book. It's great. I think kids would like it today. If you can find one in really, really good condition and you've got young children, I think they'll get a kick out of it, especially with the smells and everything else. Just as fun as the previous one with the nursery rhymes in it. So there you go. Now, a couple things I wanted to point out as I'm making more and more of these videos. In a previous video, I reviewed the Sting Factory Scratch and Sniff stickers, and I had mentioned that I did not have the hot dog one because it had been retired, and you'd have to find it on the secondary market. Well, somebody in the club saw the video and hooked me up with that. So it was the last one I needed, and they hooked me up at a really good price. So I'm not going to say their name because I don't want to, out their full name on the internet. But thank you very much, greatly appreciated. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Also, I'm going to put a link in the description box. One of the folks with the Scratch and Sniff Sticker Collector Society, Amy, has a really, really cool website. If you're interested in classic Sniff stickers, she reviews, or not really reviews, but she has a lot of them photographed and documented on this website. I'm going to put a link in the description box below that you can check that out. And she's given me permission to use some of her photos for future reviews. So expect to see those coming up and other things. Things that are coming up, I'm going to be taking a look at Spindex. In particular, I'm going to be looking at the extensive peripheral items that they had in that particular line. They were really, really cool things, some of which many people have never seen before, that I'm going to put out there for you to see. Obviously, we're going to take a look at Trend, CTP, a bunch of other things. So stay tuned, stick with it. Thanks for watching. Make sure to please like and subscribe, and a lot more coming, not just this. I'm going to look at some classic toys and do reviews and other things. So stick with it, keep watching. I appreciate your viewership. And here again, this has been the review of the Scratch and Sniff book, See No Evil, Hear No Evil, Smell No Evil, from Golden Fragrance Books.